Chapter 91. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Talent Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. While Pei Ling was focused on refining pills, Sun Yinglan returned to her residence in shady Sephora Peak with a dark expression. As soon as she opened the array formation and entered the small courtyard, she saw Li Ji sitting casually along the corridor. Her body stiffened. Senior Brother Li. If possible, Sun Yinglan wished she could turn around and run. However, when she saw Li Ji turn around to look at her, she forced a smile and walked leisurely toward him. She said coquettishly, "Why are you?" Before she could finish, Li Ji sent her flying with a kick. Sun Yinglan slammed heavily against the courtyard door and spat out a mouthful of blood as soon as she landed. *TCH, I told you to seduce Pei Ling. Li Ji's expression was dark as he strode in front of her and shouted coldly, "How dare you be perfunctory? Senior Brother Li, I went to look for Pei Ling just now." Sun Yinglan wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth and said miserably, It's just that Pei Ling. I don't know why, but he wouldn't say anything to me. No matter how I tried to express my goodwill, he was unmoved. Senior Brother, please give me some more time. I can definitely do it. Li Ji was expressionless. He raised his leg and was about to continue teaching her a lesson when his ears suddenly twitched. He looked out and revealed a thoughtful expression. Soon he kicked Sun Yinglan away from the courtyard door and walked out without looking back. Sun Yinglan hugged her head and curled up into a ball, trembling. She waited for quite a while, and after confirming that Li Ji did not return, she heaved a sigh of relief. However, there was no humiliation on her face. Instead, she looked relieved. Meanwhile, Li Ji saw a white-robed cultivator standing in a corner with his hands behind his back. He stepped forward and bowed. He asked in confusion, "Cousin, why did you ask me to stop? That slut did not use her wiles to seduce Pei Ling at all. This Sun Yinglan is a smart person." In Dongmeng turned around and said calmly, "Her background is not good, and she doesn't have any decent suitors. On her own, she doesn't know too much. But putting together your identity and Chen Huan's matter, she probably guessed that Pei Ling was involved in some inter-sect strife. She didn't want to get involved, so she took the risk of angering you to avoid the mission. Greedy, ambitious, thick-skinned, forbearing. It's a pity to kill such a talent. I'll keep her for now." Li Ji said disapprovingly, "Cousin, you probably think too highly of Sun Yinglan. She's just a lowly servant who relies on her beauty to deal with a bunch of trash. What's the difference between her and a courtesan in the secular world?" In Dongmeng did not argue with him and only said, "This is more or less the end of the matter. Don't always focus on these trivial matters. You should worry about your foundation establishment." "Yes." Li Ji agreed, but he was a little puzzled. But that slut did not really seduce Pei Ling, and Pei Hongnian is a good .4. It's impossible for him to do anything to Pei Ling because of this. How is cousin going to explain this to Branch Master Miao? In Dongmeng said slowly, "Branch Master Miao has his own opinion on this matter. There's no need for us to speculate." Li Ji became serious when he heard this. He thought that Miao Qingyang had other plans and hurriedly said, "Yes." However, he did not know that In Dongmeng was thinking to himself, "How similar is the situation of my Clear River faction to this female cultivator, Sun Yinglan. Sun Yinglan can't afford to offend Clear River faction or Double Mulberry faction. Therefore, she can only boldly bluff her way through and avoid being embroiled in their conflict and getting killed in the process." Meanwhile, Clear River faction was also in a dilemma, caught between core disciple Li and core disciple Zhou. Due to the grudge between Miao Qingyang and Jingjing Shan, they could only choose core disciple Zhou. The problem was that core disciple Zhou had always been inferior to core disciple Li. He was always at a disadvantage. A few days ago, core disciple Li went into seclusion after returning from Deer Spring City. There were originally rumors that core disciple Li had suffered serious injuries on this trip and was suspected to have damaged her foundation. This made core disciple Zhou feel energized for a moment, and he thought that he had a chance. Unexpectedly, in the past 2 days, there was news from the sect that core disciple Li was not injured at all. She even had some comprehension of breaking through. This dealt a huge blow to everyone who supported core disciple Zhou. They were in a constant state of panic. After all, the holy sect had a rule that as long as a core disciple successfully formed his or her nascent soul, he or she would be conferred the title of holy son or holy daughter and become the young leader of the same sect. Once core disciple Li became the saintess, given the grudge between her and core disciple Zhou, the latter would definitely die. At that time, although those who had supported core disciple Zhou would not die, it was obvious that their lives would not be easy. Therefore, In Dongmeng did not want to kill Pei Ling at all. He was just giving Miao Qingyang a way out. In any case, the person who died was the branch master's younger brother, not In Dongmeng's younger brother. Why would he risk his life and future? Under In Dongmeng's instructions, this matter was left unsettled. Pei Ling, who lived and ate in the alchemy room, did not even know of his and Li Ji's existence. A month later, in the D. Grade alchemy room, Pei Ling ended another round of cultivation with the system's notification. He felt that the spiritual power in his meridian seemed to have no changes compared to the last time he cultivated. He frowned slightly and casually gave the system a 3-star rating. He pondered, there seems to be a huge gap between the 6th and 7th level of Qi refinement. When he broke through from the 4th level of Qi refinement to the 5th level of Qi refinement, he had only taken about 30 superior grade bone tempering pills. As for the 5th to 6th level of Qi refinement, he had devoured the power of the cold marrow fire. Now, after a full month of cultivation, other than refining pills, he had consumed more than 300 supreme grade bone tempering pills. Until today, his cultivation level had barely reached the peak of the 6th level of Qi refinement. I should be able to break through to the 7th level of Qi refinement in 2 more days, but I'm almost out of spirit stones. Looking at the time, I should go and see senior brother Zheng first. Pei Ling thought for a long time and slowly stood up. It's time to hand over the pills I've accumulated during this period to senior brother Zheng. After a while, he saw Zheng Jingshan looking in the pink of health in Kalan courtyard. Compared to the last time, this senior brother was full of energy now. His breathing was more energetic, and there was a hint of joy in the corners of his eyes. Junior brother Pei, you're here. In a good mood, Zheng Jingshan invited him to take a seat. Before Pei Ling could speak, he took the initiative to say, if you don't come today, I'll send someone to look for you in 2 days. Here, this is your share. As he spoke, he took out a spirit stone from his storage bag and handed it to Pei Ling. Why is it only 1? Pei Ling was stunned. He took a closer look and saw that this spirit stone was different from the ones he had seen before. It was purer in color and had more spiritual power. This is a middle grade spirit stone. This one is equivalent to 10,000 inferior grade spirit stones, Zheng Jingshan said. You're still using the storage bag provided by the sect. The capacity is limited. If I give you 10,000 inferior grade spirit stones, it won't be able to hold them all, so I exchanged the inferior grade stones for a middle grade one for you. Thank you, senior brother Zheng. Pei Ling hurriedly thanked him and asked curiously, Senior brother Zheng, are supreme grade bone tempering pills actually so valuable? I only took 30% of the share and got 10,000 inferior grade spirit stones. This is really F*King faster than snatching. Chapter 92. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Refining Jade Pills Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios, a supreme grade bone tempering pill is something that can only be chanced upon by luck. No matter where you are, there's no need to worry about no one fighting over it. However, the person who really doesn't care about the price is the alchemist. Jing Jingshan smiled. A supreme-grade pill is of extraordinary value to an alchemist. If he can comprehend a little from it, he might be able to improve his alchemy skills further. Just based on this, why would those alchemists care about mere tens of thousands of spirit stones? Of the 10 supreme-grade bone-tempering pills auctioned this time, 9 of them were bought by alchemists or families that sponsor alchemists. I plan to go to a market further away next time. I should be able to sell the pills for a high price. Pei Ling was enlightened and said with a smile, "Senior brother is wise." It was a pleasant surprise that Jing Jingshan knew how to earn spirit stones. This meant that he would pay the sect's fine earlier than expected. However, there was a new problem. After paying off his fine, his first priority would be to cultivate and not continue being a money tree. "Senior brother, during this period of time, I've been refining another batch of bone-tempering pills day and night." With this thought, Pei Ling said to Jing Jingshan, "It's just that refining supreme-grade bone-tempering pills takes too much effort, so I only saved 120. In fact, after deducting the ones he used for cultivation, he now had nearly 300 supreme-grade bone-tempering pills. However, since he did not need so many to pay the fine, Pei Ling had to hold back some. Otherwise, Jing Jingshan's appetite would increase immediately. Wouldn't he have to spend a lot of time refining pills in the future? 120 pills. Jing Jingshan did not know the details of his alchemy. When he heard this, he did not doubt him at all. Instead, he was overjoyed. Good, good, good. Junior brother Pei, you're really amazing. How is it? I told you back then that a fine of more than 70,000 inferior-grade spirit stones was nothing. I was right, right. There are so many supreme-grade bone-tempering pills that ordinary small marketplaces won't do. I'll set off later for the market at the 10,000 fathom sea. Pei Ling thanked him for his hard work and asked about a previous matter, "Senior brother, the Stone Realm faction. This matter has already been resolved." Jing Jingshan waved his hand casually and said, "Senior sister has been in seclusion until now. Recently, there's news that her cultivation level has increased again. Now, the entire Clear River faction can't eat or sleep in peace because of this. The Stone Realm faction won't dare to find trouble at this time. Besides, I've already compensated her. This matter is already over. You don't have to worry." At this point, Jing Jingshan sized up Pei Ling and was slightly surprised. "It's only been a month, but you're already at the peak of the 6th level of qi refinement." One had to know that when this kid absorbed the fire into his body, he had only relied on the cold marrow fire to advance to the 6th level of qi refinement. This cultivation speed was too fast. He hurriedly warned Pei Ling, "Junior brother Pei, with your talent, you'll reach the foundation establishment stage sooner or later. There's no need to rush for quick success. Don't worry, senior brother. I won't do anything rash." Pei Ling maintained his image as a genius and said seriously, "During this period of time, I've been cultivating step by step. There's nothing else. It's good that you know your limits." Jing Jingshan nodded slightly. The two of them spoke for a while more. Seeing that there was nothing else, Pei Ling took his leave. After he left, Jing Jingshan immediately poured out all the supreme-grade bone-tempering pills to admire them. The patterns formed by the cold marrow fire were exceptionally beautiful, making his gaze linger for a long time. Pei Ling's qualifications are truly astounding. He only advanced to the 6th level of qi refinement a month ago. Looking at the situation today, I'm afraid he'll be breaking through to the late-stage qi refinement realm in a few days. After a while, Jing Jingshan reluctantly put away the bone-tempering pill. Suddenly, he thought, "I'll see if I can get him a medium or higher grade jade pill this time." His alchemy talent is outstanding. It's best if I can get the formula for the jade pill. If he could not exchange for middle-grade and above jade pills and pill formulas, he could only let Pei Ling buy ready-made jade pills from the 100 Treasures Pavilion. However, the price of the 100 Treasures Pavilion's jade pill refining formula was very high, almost several times that of the outside world. Moreover, it could only be bought after providing the 100 Treasures Pavilion with a considerable number of pills. L.C. As for refining jade pills, they were at most middle grade, not even superior grade, let alone supreme grade. It was not that there were no alchemists of this level in the sect, but such pills that were specially used for breaking through cultivation levels were too popular. Many people would stock up even if they and their juniors did not need them for the time being. They could also rely on a large number of alchemists to ensure the supply of jade pills. As for superior grade and supreme grade pills, they were limited by the level of skills and were rare to begin with. Once they appeared on the market, they were often snatched up in an instant. Not to mention Pei Ling, even Jing Shan, who had Fairy Li's backing, did not have the chance to bid for them if he received the news later. Therefore, Jing Shan hoped to gain something from this trip. While he was planning for Pei Ling had already returned to the outer sect's elixir peak on the Corpse Cloud. It doesn't seem convenient to rent Corpse Cloud all the time. Should I buy a talisman artifact for transportation? As he walked along the mountain path towards the market, he happened to see someone making a hand seal and landing on the paper boat. Pei Ling thought to himself, but forget about the paper boat. It's too unsafe. Pei Hongyan's paper boat attack left a deep impression on him. Pei Ling would never consider such a fragile talisman. Forget it, I'll settle the sect's fine first. Pei Ling glanced at the 100 Treasures Pavilion and finally gave up on this idea. Anyway, I don't need to leave Elixir Peak for the time being. At the thought of this, he gave up on heading to the 100 Treasures Pavilion and went straight to the market. Although he still had more than 100 supreme grade bone tempering pills, considering his future cultivation time, Pei Ling decided to hoard more. After purchasing the herbs, he went to the alchemy room and asked for a D.grade alchemy room. After using the system to refine pills, he cultivated as usual. System: choose the bone forging art. System: Ding Dong, smart cultivation system is sincerely at your service. The familiar management cultivation began. Pei Ling was bored out of his mind as he considered his future plans. However, at this moment, he felt the spiritual power in his meridians surge and change. It was as if a nestling was trapped in an eggshell, and a feeling of love welled up in its heart. Am I going to break through? Pei Ling was stunned before he rejoiced. According to his original estimation, he would break through to the 7th level of Qi refinement in 2 days. He did not expect it to come so quickly. The system's management cultivation was indeed efficient. At the thought of this, Pei Ling calmed down and sensed carefully. The spiritual power in his body surged like a tide under the system's control, as if it was brewing some changes. However, for some reason, this brewing seemed to be missing something and could not complete the final transformation. Pei Ling was puzzled. There was no such situation when I broke through in the past. Could it be that after the upper echelons of the Qi refinement realm, the time needed to break through has increased? Just as he was feeling puzzled, a system notification suddenly sounded in his ear. Ding dong. A lack of breakthrough pills to plant jade pills. Pei Ling. The system. Ding dong, the system is looking for jade pills. The system. Ding dong, the system will give you a superior grade jade pill for free. In the next moment, Pei Ling stood up, pulled open the door of the alchemy room, and shot out. Chapter 93. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sisters Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. In a hidden cave abode at the back of Elixir Peak, a secret room suddenly opened. Amidst the fragrance of pills, Jean Sumian walked out in a disheveled state. There was still a fresh bruise on her cheek, but her eyes were filled with passion as she held a pearl-like pill in her hands. As soon as she stepped out, she saw a woman sitting cross-legged on a futon not far away. The woman sensed her movement and slowly opened her eyes. Just as she was about to speak, she saw Jean Sumian's appearance and a hint of disdain appeared in her light purple eyes. "Why are you like this every time? Hurry up and clean up. Cousin, why are you here?" Jean Sumian asked, her surprise quickly turning to excitement. "You're here at the right time. Look at what this is." As she spoke, she quickly handed the pill to the other party. "Who doesn't know how to plant jade pills?" Her cousin, Jean Sutai, said casually, "It's not that I want to criticize you, but you." Before she could finish, Jean Sutai's gaze turned cold. She snatched the jade pill and sized it up carefully. "The color is like jade. It's translucent and flawless. The fragrance of the pill is rich and refreshing. Is this a superior-grade jade pill?" "That's right." Jean Sumian raised her chin proudly. "It's a superior jade pill." Jean Sutai was surprised and delighted. Her originally gloomy mood lifted. She said, "Good, good, good. You're indeed the pride of the family. It has only been a few days since you refined the superior-grade essence-enhancing pill, but you can actually refine a superior-grade jade pill now. In time, our Jean family will definitely be like a tiger that has grown wings, reaching a higher level." "It wasn't that fast at first," Jean Sumian hurriedly said. "Speaking of which, a few days ago, when I was selling pills at the 100 Treasures Pavilion, I picked up a superior grade bone tempering pill. Its refinement technique was exquisite and ingenious. The disciple who sold it didn't know his stuff, so I only spent a few dozen inferior-grade spirit stones to buy it. I originally wanted to find out who refined it and ask for guidance, but after I returned, I only studied it for one night before I was enlightened. Over the past few days, I'd used nearly 1,000 furnaces of materials to refine this superior jade pill. And that disciple took out 12 superior-grade bone tempering pills. It can be seen that compared to that master, I still have many shortcomings. You're still young, so you don't have to belittle yourself." Jean Sutai was very satisfied. She advised with a smile, "Besides, the use of refining jade pills is not something that bone tempering pills can compare to. You have to know that the cultivation of the holy sex bone forging art is divided into 3 levels. Iron bone, essence bone, and jade bone. And each level is divided into 4 grades. Upper, middle, lower, and supreme. Grade. There's nothing much to say about the lower and middle levels, but when a superior-grade or supreme-grade iron bone transforms into an essence bone, as well as when a superior-grade or supreme-grade essence bone transforms into a jade bone, additional help is needed. Otherwise, it will be difficult to complete this transformation purely with one's spiritual power. In order to protect itself, the body will instinctively resist promotion. In ancient times, there were no bone tempering pills. There are people with great perseverance who can rely on their willpower and talent to cultivate the bone forging art. However, without refining jade pills, superior-grade or supreme-grade essence bones, they will be stuck at the 6th level of chi refinement for the rest of their lives and won't be able to transform into jade. Therefore, although they are both superior-grade pills, refining jade pills is more important than bone tempering pills." Jean Sumian smiled and said, "Cousin, I know. And I feel that the enlightenment from that superior-grade bone tempering pill is far more than just this superior-grade jade pill. After I accept the cold marrow fire mission you mentioned and absorb the fire into my body, my alchemy skills will definitely improve." She was still immersed in the joy of refining the superior jade pill and did not notice the ugly expression on Jean Sutai's face when she heard this. She asked with a smile, "Oh right, cousin, I can go to the bottom of the goo abyss at any time. When are you free?" Jean Sutai was speechless for a moment before she sighed. "I came here this time to tell you this. The cold marrow fire is gone." Jean Sumian was stunned. No. Why is it gone? Because the double mulberry faction forcefully snatched the mission, Jin Sitai said. Originally, I wouldn't have let the matter rest. However, recently, there are rumors in the sect that core disciple Li is about to come out of seclusion and that her cultivation level has improved greatly. Even core disciple Zhou is tossing and turning because of this. Our Stone Realm faction can't fall out with Jing Shan over this. I can only settle this score in the future. Seeing her cousin's disappointed expression, Jin Sutai's heart ached a little. She hurriedly comforted her, however, Stone Realm faction is one of the middle 5 factions after all. Jing Shan is only from the lower 5 factions. Even with the reputation of core disciple Li, it's impossible for him to snatch your opportunity without paying a price. As she spoke, she flipped her hand and took out a small clay jar. This is the compensation from Jing Shan. It's a portion of the 9 nether cold spring water. Like the 9 nether fire, the 9 nether cold spring water comes from the ground, but it's a grade higher than the 9 nether fire. In terms of rarity, it's actually comparable to the cold marrow fire. This water can cleanse the body and clear the soul. In terms of body tempering, it's better than the cold marrow fire. Jin Sumian said dejectedly, "Cousin, you know that I want the cold marrow fire not to temper my body, but to refine pills. Sigh, I'll find you another set of immortal fire in the future." Jin Sutai also felt that it was a pity, but since things had come to this, she could only advise her cousin, once core disciple Li forms the nascent soul, she can even compete for the position of our sect saintess and future sect master. It's really not worth it to risk offending her for a mere 8th grade immortal fire. Cousin, you're right. It was not that Jin Sumian did not know the severity of the matter. It was just that she thought that she had lost something all of a sudden and could not even seek justice. She could not help but feel a little emotional. After pondering for a while, she adjusted her mindset and said, "All right, it just so happens that my cultivation has improved after refining this pill. Later, I'll use this 9 nether cold spring water to temper my body. I should be able to break through to the 8th level of chi refinement in one go." Seeing this, Jin Sutai heaved a sigh of relief and reminded her, although the body tempering process of the 9 nether cold spring water is slightly better than absorbing fire into your body, it is still very dangerous. You must be careful. No matter how painful the body tempering process is, you must guard your mind and stay awake. Otherwise, the backlash from the 9 nether evil chi will be unimaginable. Do you understand? Seeing her cousin nod, she was still a little worried. "Forget it, I'll stay and protect you." "There's no need, cousin." Jin Sumian immediately shook her head. "It's just the 9 nether cold spring water. There's no need to make such a big fuss over it. If I don't even have this little ability, why would I talk about longevity in the Great Tao back then? Why would I want to absorb fire into my body and pursue higher alchemy? Without the cold marrow fire, I'm already one step behind. If I don't even dare to face the 9 nether cold spring water alone, what right do I have to compete with those true geniuses in the future?" Jin Sitai frowned slightly. She wanted to persuade her further, but on second thought, her cousin was arrogant and might not listen. Moreover, judging from Jin Sumian's appearance, if she insisted on staying, it would probably hinder her mental state. Therefore, she could only leave the 9 nether cold spring water behind and leave. After her cousin left, Jin Sumian's expression instantly darkened as she snorted coldly. "Jing Shan. I remember that he once absorbed fire into his body. In that case, did he snatch my cold marrow fire for someone else? Humph, you better not let me know who it is." With the care of her cousin, Jin Sutai, and her outstanding alchemy talent, Jin Sumian had never suffered such a loss since she entered the Deep Sea sect. She was furious for a long time before she finally calmed down. She took out a jade bathtub from her storage bag and poured the 9 nether cold spring water into it. This cold spring water seemed to be a small can, but in fact, there was a world in the can. It filled 80% of the huge bathtub. Jean Sumian first formed hand seals to get rid of the dust and dirt on her body. Just as she was about to undress and start tempering her body, a talisman suddenly floated into the air on the table in the cave abode and ignited on its own. Chapter 94. You are listening at novelfull.audio. System. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios, Jean Sumian stopped taking off her clothes. The talisman suddenly turned into a skull. It said in a clear female voice, "Junior sister, there's news of the Foundation establishment pill formula you want." Jean Sumian was stunned for a moment before she was overjoyed. "Senior sister Luqiang, really? Where is it? How much did the other party offer?" Over the years, she had already studied most of the medicinal pills for the Qi refinement realm. She had yet to obtain the formula for the Foundation establishment pill. This was because the 100 Treasures Pavilion did not sell the pill formulas for special pills like the Foundation establishment pill. Only after providing them with a considerable number of refined pills would they be qualified to exchange for formulas. However, the problem was that although Jean Sumian was already the most famous genius alchemist in the outer sect, and her success rate was extremely high, she still had to cultivate. It was impossible for her to refine pills for the 100 Treasures Pavilion without rest. Back then, when she entered the sect with Lu Luqiang and the others, she had the best aptitude. But now, among the four of them, she had the lowest cultivation level because she had spent too much time refining pills. Therefore, while Jean Sumian continued to refine pills and complete the 100 Treasures Pavilion's mission, she asked someone to find clues about the Foundation establishment pill formula. If she could obtain the formula for the Foundation establishment pill from the outside world, then there was no need for her to be a tool for the 100 Treasures Pavilion. "Junior sister, it's not a matter of price. It's just that the formula for the Foundation establishment pill is in the Han Manor," Lu Luqiang said in a low voice. "This is the news brought back by the last batch of people who accepted the mission to the Han Manor. I've already confirmed it. It's very credible. Moreover, there's a red beard vine in the villa." Jean Sumian quickly asked, "Then who has these things?" "It's not in anyone's hands," Lu Luqiang said. "Junior sister, you've been in seclusion to refine pills during this period of time, so you don't know that the mission of the Han family villa has failed 4 times in a row. If there's another time, they'll die in the inner sect. The people who went the first 3 times were all wiped out. They couldn't even convey a word. Recently, because senior brother He was among them, he was lucky to escape and return to the sect with injuries." "What?" Jean Sumian was shocked. "Senior brother He advanced to the peak of the 8th level of Qi refinement 2 years ago. It's said that he's about to reach the 9th level of Qi refinement. He personally took action, but he actually couldn't complete it and even returned with injuries." Lu Luqiang said, "That's right. So this time, many people plan to accept this mission. As far as I know, there are already at least 3 teams that can set off in a few days. I've already joined senior brother Zhang Shua's group and will set off the day after tomorrow. Senior brother Zhang Shua promised that if you're willing to refine 2 Foundation establishment pills for him, the Foundation establishment pill formula and the red beard vine will be yours. This senior brother is already at the 9th level of Qi refinement. In terms of strength, he has a chance of obtaining a ranking in the outer sect competition. If we follow him, not only will we have a considerable guarantee of safety, but there's also a high chance of obtaining the Foundation establishment pill recipe and the red beard vine. If you're interested, you might as well consider it." Jean Sumian thought for a moment and nodded. "In that case, senior sister, please help me tell senior brother Zhang Shua that I'm willing to join his team." "All right." Lu Luqiang was delighted when she heard that. She smiled and said, "I'll tell senior brother Zhang Shua now." "Oh right, this mission at the Han family manor is not simple. Although senior brother Zhang Shua is leading the team, it's better for us to be careful. How about this? When you're free, I'll come to your cave abode and tell you the general situation in person. Senior sister, you can come over tomorrow morning. Jean Sumian calculated the time she needed to temper her body and said readily, I've already finished refining pills this time. I'm not busy anymore. Lu Luqiang said, then it's settled. I'll look for you tomorrow morning. With that, the flames on the talisman slowly extinguished and returned to the original spot. It seems that it's a blessing in disguise. Jean Sumian smiled and muttered to herself, I didn't expect to receive such good news just as I lost the cold marrow fire. It seems that it's not necessarily a bad thing that the cold marrow fire is gone. Bah! How dare he snatch my opportunity? I definitely can't let him off. She happily took off her clothes and glanced at the dark 9 nether cold spring water. Without any hesitation, she immersed her body in it. Cold. So cold. The moment Jean Su fell asleep, her smile froze. The 9 nether cold spring water was as its name suggested. The moment she entered, Jean Sumian felt as if she had been frozen into an ice sculpture. Not only did her body feel cold, but most importantly, her thoughts seemed to have frozen. Every thought was difficult to process. At the same time, her entire body felt like it was being stabbed by thousands of small knives. The pain was endless. As expected of something on par with the cold marrow fire. Jean Sumian's entire body trembled uncontrollably in extreme pain, but she was not afraid. Instead, she was filled with anticipation. She thought to herself, after tempering my body tonight, I will definitely advance to the 8th level of chi refinement. As she thought of this, she held her breath and focused. She forced herself to ignore the pain in the outside world. Her spiritual power circulated as she began to cultivate in the cold spring water. As the cultivation technique circulated, the pores on Jean Sumian's body became enlarged as she greedily absorbed the essence of the 9 nether cold spring water. As time passed, the spiritual power in her meridians became more and more abundant. Jean Sumian was immersed in the comfort and stability brought by the increase in her strength when a ghostly figure suddenly jumped into the cave abode. At first, Jean Sumian thought that she had sensed wrongly. When she opened her eyes, she saw a slightly familiar male cultivator suddenly appear not far away. She could not help but be dumbfounded. Although her cave abode was set up for the convenience of refining pills on Elixir Peak, there were a total of 6 array formations set up around it. Unless Jean Sumian took the initiative to open the door from the inside, even if she came in herself, she would have to use her nameplate to open it to ensure that she did not trigger any array formations and enter safely. How strong was the other party to be able to sneak in without anyone noticing? Before Jean Sumian could react, she saw something that made her eyes pop out. The male cultivator reached out and grabbed the superior jade pill on the table. Stop! Jean Sumian roared in her heart. If not for the fact that she was at a critical moment in her body tempering and could not move, she would have jumped out immediately and smashed this guy's head. She had worked hard for so long and wasted almost 1,000 furnaces. This was the symbol of her improvement in the alchemy Tao, the condensation of her hard work over the past few days. It was her. The male cultivator did not hesitate to stuff the jade pill into his mouth. Ding dong, the system notification was as calm as ever. The superior grade jade pill has been gifted. The system will continue to cultivate for you. Pei Ling was dumbfounded. However, the system clearly did not intend to let him off. The next moment, he turned around 90 degrees and faced the shocked and furious owner of the cave abode. Ding dong. The system has detected an environment suitable for breaking through. Ding dong, the system will give you more than half of the 9 nether cold spring water for free. Pei Ling strode to the bathtub. Under Jean Sumian's dumbfounded gaze, he took off all his clothes and jumped in with a bang. The ripples almost caused Jean Sumian to lose her balance. But her humiliation was not over. Pei Ling reached out his hand expressionlessly and pressed it against her face. He pushed Jin Sumian to a corner like he was pushing away an object that was in the way. Then he openly occupied the center of the bathtub and began to cultivate. System. Ding dong, the 9 nether cold spring water has been gifted. The system will continue to cultivate for you. Pei Ling was speechless. Jin Sumian. She could no longer guard her mind. She spat out a mouthful of blood and her spiritual power was in chaos. Chapter 95. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Senior sister, please don't die. Translator. Atlas Studios editor. Atlas Studios Pei Ling had no time to care about Jin Sumian. Because the 9 nether frost spring water was too painful. As soon as his body was immersed in it, it was as if a dismemberment had begun. Countless sharp blades slashed through his entire body. As time passed, the pain became more and more intense. That was not all. After all, he was someone who had absorbed fire into his body. Pei Ling cursed at the system while guarding against Jin Sumian's outburst. However, what he did not expect was that as the system cultivated, the originally quiet cold marrow fire gradually became lively. An azure flame lit up from the depths of his pupils. After absorbing the essence of the 9 nether cold spring water, it slowly spread throughout his body. F***ck, F***ck, F***ck. Stupid system. Trash retard. F***ck your ancestors. Pei Ling did not expect that after enduring the flames once, he would still have to endure the burning flames and the dismemberment. So you stole my cold marrow fire. Just as he was cursing the system, he suddenly heard an angry shout. Jin Sumian's state of mind had been fluctuating intensely just now and she was already injured. Now that she was furious, it made things worse. Before she could finish, she spat out another mouthful of blood and fell weakly to the edge of the bathtub, unconscious. Pei Ling was speechless. Sigh. Destroy. The system remained indifferent and focused on cultivating. The 9 nether cold spring water was originally very heavy and ink-black. Every drop was like a steel bead. However, as time passed, the color of the cold spring water became fainter and fainter. After a night, there was only a basin of clear water left in the bathtub. Pei Ling's body suddenly shook, and all the pain receded like the tide, replaced by strength. In his limbs and bones, spiritual power flowed. As it flowed, it was clearly much stronger than the 6th level of Qi refinement. 7th level of Qi refinement. At the same time, the system notification sounded in his ear again. Ding dong. This cultivation session is over. Thank you for using the smart cultivation system. You have ascended without a worry with a single click. I look forward to you sharing your cultivation evaluation. If you are satisfied, please give me a 5-star rating. Pei Ling's face turned ashen. He first gave it a 1-star rating before jumping out of the bathtub and putting on his clothes as quickly as possible. Just as he was about to seize the opportunity to escape, he saw Jin Sumian lying on the bathtub with her head lowered and her hair in a mess. He recalled her actions and realized that she had not moved since she fainted last night. After hesitating for a moment, Pei Ling walked over warily and pushed her shoulder. Senior sister. Senior sister. Jin Sumian slid into the bathtub. Pei Ling's expression changed. This senior sister had better not die. The first time he went to the 100 Treasures Pavilion to sell pills, he had heard of Jin Sumian's reputation. Not to mention the 3 high-level Qi refinement disciples who were fawning over Jin Sumian at that time, Jin Sumian had already been designated as the successor by the inner sect elders. If anything happened to her, even Jing Jingshan might not be able to protect him. Pei Ling did not dare to be negligent. He quickly carried her out of the bathtub and placed her on the soft couch beside him. He pushed aside her wet long hair, revealing her pale face. The corners of her mouth were stained with blood that had dried up. To Pei Ling's relief, although this senior sister's breathing was almost non-existent, she was clearly still alive. I remember that this senior sister is an alchemist. There must be medicinal pills in her cave abode. With this thought, Pei Ling casually pulled a blanket over Jin Sumian and hurriedly went to find medicinal pills. Soon, he found a bunch of bottles and jars from various corners. However, there was a problem. Other than the bone-tempering pill, the jade-growing pill, the qi and blood pill, and the essence-enhancing pill, he did not know anything else. Should I feed one casually? This irresponsible thought was rejected by Pei Ling as soon as it surfaced in his mind. After all, this was an alchemist from the demon sect. Who knew what these pills in front of him were? He thought for a while and stuffed an essence-enhancing pill and the qi and blood pill into Jin Sumian's hands. He stuffed the rest of the pills into his storage bag and planned to ask about them at the 100 Treasures Pavilion. Breaking into the cave abode, snatching other people's belongings, disturbing others' cultivation. I remember that I'll only be fined a few thousand spirit stones in total. With this thought, he did not dare to delay any longer. He took Jin Sumian's nameplate and hurriedly walked out. As long as this senior sister doesn't die, this fine is not a big deal. There was an array formation around Jin Sumian's cave abode. Last night, the system had controlled his body to break in. Pei Ling did not know how to set up an array formation. Fortunately, although it was difficult to enter this cave abode, it was very convenient to leave. He only took a step out of the door and was already standing outside the cave abode. However, before Pei Ling could figure out which direction led to the 100 Treasures Pavilion, a huge lantern suddenly descended from the sky. In the lantern, Lu Luqiang looked at him in surprise. Who are you? Why did you come out of junior sister Jin's cave abode at this time? Pei Ling's mind raced. Just as he was thinking about how to brush it off, Lu Luqiang suddenly slapped him. Pei Ling did not have time to think as he hurriedly dodged to the side. At this moment, he felt that his hand was empty. He saw Lu Luqiang standing 30 feet away from him with Jin Sumian's nameplate in her hand. Her face was cold. Why is junior sister Jin's nameplate in your hand? Without waiting for Pei Ling to answer, she activated the array formation and rushed inside. Pei Ling was shocked when he saw this. Without thinking, he activated the blood ghost escape technique and flashed in close to her back. In a flash, the two of them appeared in the cave abode at almost the same time. Junior sister Jin. Lu Luqiang shouted. Seeing that no one answered, she immediately walked into the cave abode. However, just as she moved, Pei Ling suddenly stopped her and said in a low voice, Senior sister, please stay. Senior sister Jin is not feeling well now. Please don't disturb her. He could not let her know that Jin Sumian was dying. Lu Luqiang was furious. Who are you? Junior sister Jin has never mentioned you to me. Ha! Does this senior sister not recognize me? Pei Ling was stunned for a moment before he was secretly delighted. He immediately said, Senior sister, it seems like there's no need for Sumian to tell you about me and her, right? Sumian. He's actually so close to junior sister Jin. Lu Luqiang choked. She thought about it carefully and was speechless. Senior sister, it's not appropriate for Sumian to greet you in her situation now. You should put down her nameplate and leave first. Seeing this, Pei Ling became even more righteous. Don't delay our business. Delaying your business. Lu Luqiang had always prided herself on being as close as a sister to Jin Sumian. Even Xiao Ningji, who had always pursued Jin Sumian, did not dare to offend her. When had she ever been ostracized by others regarding Jin Sumian? She glared at Pei Ling and suddenly slapped him. Pei Ling had just suffered a loss, but he was already on guard at this moment. Unfortunately, the system did not bring the life-extinguishing blade with it during its cultivation this time. He could only use his palm as a saber and slash down from above, using the blood malevolence saber art. Slash. Pei Ling's hand was surrounded by a dense blood aura as he easily cut through Lu Luqiang's palm force. Seeing that her attack had failed, Lu Luqiang's figure swayed. Her footsteps were like flowers circling a tree as she suddenly turned behind Pei Ling. Her palm instantly turned into a beast claw that grabbed at Pei Ling's back. However, just as the tip of the claw touched Pei Ling's robe, he turned into a ball of blood and disappeared from Lu Luqiang's vision. The second move missed again. Lu Luqiang was slightly stunned. The other party was only at the 7th level of Qi refinement, but he had actually dodged her attacks twice in a row. However, before she could think further, she felt a chill on her neck. She hurriedly turned around and saw that Pei Ling's hand was already on her neck. This senior sister at the 8th level of Qi refinement is so weak. Chapter 96. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A close friend translator. Atlas Studios editor. Atlas Studios, U. Lu Luqiang was so shocked that she did not know what to say for a moment. After looking at each other for a moment, a thought surfaced in her mind. He fought someone above his level and made me suffer a small loss in less than 3 moves. With such talent, he is indeed worthy of Junior Sister Jin's attention. Is this guy really Junior Sister Jin's close friend? Senior Sister, please leave for the time being, Pei Ling said in a low voice. Don't disturb me and Su Mian. When did Sister Jean get together with this guy? Damn it. She had known Junior Sister Jean for so long. Even if she knew about this, it was not as if she was unwilling to help cover up for her in front of Xiaoningji. Is there a need to be so surreptitious? Or does Junior Sister Jean not treat me as a good sister? Lu Luqiang was angry and aggrieved. Her expression darkened for a moment before she suddenly flicked her sleeve, threw down her nameplate, and left feeling resentful. Pei Ling secretly heaved a sigh of relief. However, Lu Luqiang had only turned around and taken 2 steps when she suddenly stopped. She turned around and said to him, then can Junior Sister Jean still participate in the mission at the Han Manor? Han Manor. This place seems familiar. Pei Ling thought quickly and quickly remembered. He had learned about this mission after he killed Miao Chengyan and the others and went to the miscellaneous committee to look for a mission to slip out of the sect. The remuneration of 800 inferior-grade spirit stones simply stood out from the other missions that paid a pittance. Therefore, he still remembered that the mission was to investigate the truth behind the sudden death of the entire Han clan. It was only limited to disciples above the 6th level of Qi refinement. The deadline was 1 month. Calculating the time, a month seemed to have passed. Could it be that someone took up the mission after that? Or is there something wrong with this mission? She's not feeling well these 2 days. She won't be going. Pei Ling was puzzled, but he did not show it on his face. Jean Sumian was breathing her last breath. How could she participate in a mission? Won't be going. Lu Luqiang's pupils constricted as she looked at Pei Ling sharply with a puzzled expression. The Han Manor has the Foundation Establishment Pill formula and the main ingredient for the Foundation Establishment Pill that Junior Sister Jean wants. It's impossible for her not to go. Besides, I've already promised Senior Brother Zhang Shuo. If Junior Sister Jean doesn't go, how am I going to answer to Senior Brother Zhang Shuo? Pei Ling's heart sank. He thought that he had already gotten away with it, but he did not expect Jean Sumian to have agreed to participate in the mission. He had no time to think too much about the current situation. He could only go all the way and say bluntly, you don't have to worry about that. I'll go on behalf of Sumian. If there's nothing else, you can leave. Lu Luqiang stared at him and said aggressively, you're going. If you go, can you agree on behalf of Junior Sister Jean if Senior Brother Zhang Shuo wants 2 Foundation Establishment pills? Of course. Pei Ling said firmly, based on my relationship with Sumian, this is a small matter. Alright. Lu Luqiang saw that he was taking it for granted that he would make the decision on behalf of Jin Sumian and felt rather depressed. She pondered for a moment and said, I'll explain the situation to senior brother Zhang Shuo. If he agrees, I'll look for you tomorrow. With that, she flicked her sleeves and left. After she had left for a while, Pei Ling hurriedly disguised himself and left the cave abode. Fortunately, he did not meet anyone else this time. After a while, he returned from the 100 Treasures Pavilion and immediately took out a light green pill the size of a pigeon egg. This was a resurrection pill. According to the 100 Treasures Pavilion's pill appraiser, it was specially used for cultivation problems, backlash, and other situations. Pei Ling opened Jin Sumian's cherry mouth and forcefully stuffed the resurrection pill into it. Then he poured out 2 crimson pills. The surface was covered with densely packed tiny ghost faces. The 100 Treasures Pavilion said that these pills were called ghost flame pills, and they could be consumed or applied externally. However, internal consumption required some fire-element cultivation techniques. Otherwise, the lungs might get burned easily. External application was to expel the cold. After Pei Ling crushed them, he carefully applied the powder to Jin Sumian's forehead, throat, lower abdomen, and other areas. As soon as the powder was scattered, a layer of mist-like coldness slowly spread out. After some work, Pei Ling observed carefully and realized that although Jin Sumian's breathing was still weak, at least it was not as intermittent as before. It was obvious that she had improved a lot. He heaved a sigh of relief. It seems that her life is not in danger, he thought. I have to find senior brother Jing quickly. After taking Jin Sumian's nameplate, Pei Ling left the cave abode and immediately rented a corpse cloud to head to the inner sect. However, when he arrived at the small courtyard of Kalan, he was told by the puppet guarding the door, the branch master has left the sect and won't be back anytime soon. Pei Ling was speechless. He did not give up and asked, I have something urgent. Can you invite senior brother Jing back first? He shouldn't have gone far. The puppet said, the branch master has left the sect and won't be back for a while. Pei Ling spat out a mouthful of blood and asked, then may I know where senior sister Ouyang Xianqing is? I want to visit her. The puppet continued, the branch master has left the sect and won't be back anytime soon. System, come out and see your retarded younger brother, Pei Ling thought angrily. System. Ding, dong, the system said robotically. The smart cultivation system is at your service. Enjoy one-click management and smart upgrades. Automatic cultivation. End any accidents. No worries about mental demons. Fulfill your dream of ascension. Pei Ling said, F***ck. He could only return to Jin Sumian's cave abode. The quality of the pills that this senior sister left in the cave abode was very good. During this period of time, her condition had stabilized a lot, and some color had returned to her face. What should I do? Pei Ling looked at her and thought to himself. He had snatched this senior sister's jade pill and occupied her 9 nether cold spring water. He had almost taken a bath with her and caused her to fail in body tempering. In the end, she almost died. It was obvious that once Jin Sumian woke up, she would not let the matter rest. Without a backer like Xing Jingshan to mediate, there was no way to resolve this matter. After all, if someone snatched the jade pill that he had painstakingly refined, and then there was no then, this person must die. After some consideration, Pei Ling opened a jade bottle and carefully poured out a thumb-sized black pill. This pill emitted a bitter fragrance, but after smelling it, he felt his mind clear up. Soul calming pill. Pei Ling sized it up a few times and thought to himself, according to the 100 Treasures Pavilion, this pill is good at calming the mind and nourishing the soul. The user will sleep for an entire month. In their sleep, it nourishes the soul and nourishes the spirit. It's one of the necessary pills for alchemists and one of the most precious pills in the Qi refinement realm. Even senior sister Jean has only 4. I'll let her take one first. Tomorrow, I'll replace her in the mission at the Han family's mountain villa. It would be best if senior brother Zheng returns by the time the mission is completed. If senior brother Zheng is still outside, I'll feed senior sister Jean another pill. I believe that the time it takes for 2 soul-calming pills to work is enough for senior brother Zheng to return and take charge of the situation for me. At the thought of this, Pei Ling secretly rejoiced that he had found Jing Jingshan. Otherwise, he would be dead meat this time. Chapter 97. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is it too late for me to back out now? Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. After confirming that Jean Sumian was fine and having agreed to go on a mission on her behalf the next day, Pei Ling took the time to return to the alchemy room to retrieve the life extinguishing blade and other belongings. The next morning, he had just finished a cultivation session when Lu Luqiang's voice sounded from outside the cave abode. It's time to set off. He quickly took Jean Sumian's nameplate and walked out. Lu Luqiang stood on the lantern with a cold expression. Come up. I told senior brother Zhang Shua yesterday that you're representing junior sister Jean in this mission. After Pei Ling stepped onto the lantern, Lu Luqiang took out her nameplate and got him to accept the mission. Then she formed a hand seal and got the lantern to fly southwest. She looked straight ahead and said without looking at Pei Ling, senior brother Zhang Shua and the others were not too happy. In the end, they agreed to let you join because of junior sister Jean. So someone might want to see your strength later. Don't hold back. Our holy sect has always respected the strong. The stronger you are, the more benefits you will get. Don't embarrass junior sister Jean. Pei Ling nodded. Thank you for your advice, senior sister. Lu Luqiang maintained her aloofness for a while. Seeing that Pei Ling did not speak, she could not help but ask, when did you meet junior sister Jean? More than a month ago. You were there. It has been a while, Pei Ling said calmly. Su Mian is a very good girl. Lu Luqiang sneered. Of course. She did not like Pei Ling, and she was feeling frustrated that she could not get anything out of him. When the lantern landed on a wide cliff, she said coldly, we're here. Pei Ling had never been to this part of the mountain peak where the cliff was located. He only saw the vegetation on the entire mountain peak, and the rare beasts that appeared from time to time. There was a species of red dot-tailed, green dot-eyed mountain sparrow in the forest. Its feathers were beautiful and cute. It flew in the forest, and the chirping of the birds complemented the clear spring, making it look even more beautiful. However, the cliff they were on was barren. There were countless saber marks on the ground. Pei Ling followed Lu Luqiang down the lantern. There were a few holes in his robe, and he felt a tingle where his exposed skin was. He could not help but be startled. He quickly looked around but did not see the enemy. This is the Nether Blade Cliff. Lu Luqiang sneered when she saw his actions and said, a senior of the holy sect once cultivated the cold abyss saber art here. Over time, the saber intent permeated the cliff. Not only is it difficult for plants to survive, but the remaining saber chi will also be attracted to cultivators who cultivate the saber technique. In the early years, even inner sect saber cultivators would specially come here to comprehend. This place is very famous in the outer sect, especially for cultivators who practice the saber. Almost everyone knows about it. She said calmly, but don't you know? Pei Ling frowned slightly. Just as he was about to speak, someone not far away suddenly said, Junior Sister Lu, this was a long time ago. Now, less than 10% of the saber intent is left in this place. Very few people, even saber cultivators at the Qi refinement realm, will come here specially. The two of them looked over and saw a burly man in a red robe striding over. As he walked, he said, is this the junior brother who came on junior sister Jin's behalf? To be able to land on the ground without any blood at the 7th level of Qi refinement, you seem to be quite capable. This is Senior Brother Zhang Shua, Lu Luqiang introduced. Senior Brother Zhang Shua is already at the 9th level of Qi refinement and is only one step away from foundation establishment. She then introduced him to Zhang Shua. This is. Oh right, what's your name? Pei Ling's heart skipped a beat. 9th level of Qi refinement. Isn't this mission only for those above the 6th level of Qi refinement? Why would a disciple at the 9th level of Qi refinement come? He suppressed the doubts in his heart and said respectfully, "Hello, Senior Brother Zhang. My name is Pei Ling. So it's Junior Brother Pei." Zhang Shua sized him up carefully and quickly recalled if he had heard of such a person in the outer sect. He had no impression at all. It seems that he's most likely a gigolo. At the thought of this, his expression became calm. He said to Lu Luqiang, "Junior Brother Zhao, Junior Brother Zhou, and Junior Sister Wang are all here. Only Junior Brother Su and Junior Sister Li are left. We're waiting at the pavilion over there. You guys can go over together." A gravel path led them down Netherblade Cliff. On both sides of the path were large bamboo forests. There were thousands of green poles and dense sword leaves. There was a clear stream flowing quietly along the path on the left. After walking for more than 100 feet, they came to a small bridge over the stream. Opposite the bridge stood an octagonal pavilion. There was a skull wind chime hanging in all 8 corners of the pavilion. It swayed gently with the soft wind, emitting a pleasant crisp sound. The pavilion was engraved with countless ghostly patterns that were ferocious and terrifying. At this moment, 3 cultivators were sitting in the pavilion. When they saw Zhang Shua bringing Lu Luqiang and Pei Ling, they hurriedly stood up to welcome them. Junior Brother Su and Junior Sister Li live far away. They haven't arrived yet. Let's wait a while longer, Zhang Shua said to them. The person beside Junior Sister Lu is Junior Brother Pei Ling, who is going to the Han Manor with us on behalf of Junior Sister Jean. The 3 cultivators glanced at Pei Ling and frowned when they realized that he was only at the 7th level of Qi refinement. Pei Ling was secretly shocked. 3 8th stage Qi refinement cultivators. Including Zhang Shua and Lu Luqiang, there was a 9th stage Qi refinement realm cultivator, a half-step foundation establishment realm cultivator, and 4 8th stage Qi refinement realm cultivators. Moreover, there were 2 cultivators who were not present in this team. From the attitude of everyone, the 2 who were not here were probably at least at the 8th stage Qi refinement realm. Why are there so many experts on the mission to the Han Manor? Junior Sister Lu, you're here. After a perfunctory greeting, everyone ignored Pei Ling and only spoke to Lu Luqiang. I heard that your golden, winged red-threaded centipede has shed its shell again recently. Seeing Lu Luqiang nod, the female cultivator surnamed Wang's expression relaxed visibly. She said, "That's good. The golden, winged red-threaded centipede is good at devouring ghosts. With Senior Brother Zhang's strength, we still have an advantage in the current 5 teams." Pei Ling. What? 5 teams? Isn't their lineup good enough for the mission of the Han Manor? F***CK. Could it be another Netherworld mission? Just as he was thinking this, the gray-robed man among the 2 male cultivators at the 8th level of Qi refinement sighed and said, "Junior Sister Wang, you're too optimistic. I just received news that the other 4 teams had not been idle last night. For example, Senior Brother Bai Kuang's team borrowed a poison fire blood dragon staff from an inner sect senior brother. Other than Senior Brother Bai Kuang, everyone else's cultivation level is above the 8th level of Qi refinement. Senior Sister Guan Shuerue's team has a demon pet at the 9th level of awakening. The others are all at the 8th level of Qi refinement or above. Although Senior Brother Jiao Pu and the others did not borrow any Dharma artifacts or demon pets, 4 hours ago, Senior Brother Jiao convinced Senior Brother Lu Fujiang, who is also at the 9th level of Qi refinement, to join forces. In other words, their team has 2 people at the 9th level of Qi refinement. There's no need to mention senior brother Tang Nanjai's team. Ever since senior brother Tang reached the 6th level of Qi refinement, he entered the Gu Abyss to kill demons and ghosts. His spells were all mastered in the line between life and death. He's almost invincible among those in his realm. As for senior brother Tang's teammates, they have worked with him on the Gu Abyss battlefield for many years. The tacit understanding they have from that is not something a temporary team like ours can compare to. The gray-robed male cultivator sighed again. So we can't let our guard down. Pei Ling was speechless. Is it too late for me to back out now? Chapter 98. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Blood Puppet Palanquin Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. Before Pei Ling could think of a reason to give up on the mission, the sound of clothes fluttering could be heard from the pavilion. A man and a woman at the 8th level of Qi refinement landed on the ground, one after another. The male cultivator's face was simple and unadorned, and he carried a huge bronze shield on his back. The female cultivator's embroidered dress trailed over the ground, and her face was covered by a veil, making it impossible to see her age. Zhang Shua and the others stood up and walked out. Junior brother Su, junior sister Li, you've finally arrived. Senior brother Zhang. The 2 cultivators nodded at Zhang Shua and said apologetically, I'm really sorry to have kept you waiting. Since everyone is here, let's set off now. Zhang Shua looked around and took out a palanquin the size of a palm from his storage bag. He said, Junior brothers and sisters, the Han Manor is far from the holy sect. Everyone's mounts are of different speeds. If you don't mind, why don't you take my blood puppet palanquin? No one had any objections, so Zhang Shua threw the palanquin into the air. The workmanship of this palanquin was exquisite. The protective plate was engraved with 100 ghosts at night. Strands of skulls hung from the 4 corners. A curtain woven from human skin hung in front of the palanquin. Behind it were several black iron nails that nailed a ferocious dragon that was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It was still struggling. At a glance, the most eye-catching thing was the pillar on the top of the palanquin. It was divided into 8 sides, and there was a human face on each side. The men and women, old and young, were completely different. Their faces were alive, and bloody tears flowed from their eyes. Zhang Shua was the first to lift the human skin curtain and enter. The others followed. Senior sister Lu. Pei Ling was at the back. He braced himself and asked Lu Luqiang softly, my cultivation level is low, so I'm afraid I'll drag you down. Why don't I not go? How about you find another senior brother or sister at the 8th level of Qi refinement? Lu Luqiang was about to walk in when she frowned. Are you kidding me? If you don't go now, where are we going to find a replacement? Besides, if you don't go, who are we going to ask for the foundation establishment pills that junior sister Jean promised? She lowered her voice. If you back down now and anger senior brother Zhang, I won't be able to protect you. Hurry up and follow us. Pei Ling said, this. I understand. The blood puppet palanquin looked about the same size as the bridal sedan chair used by brides in the mortal world. However, after entering, he realized that it was another world. It was a rather spacious room with red mattresses, soft curtains, and elegant furnishings. As the group sat down, it did not feel crowded at all. Zhang Shua formed a hand seal, and the blood puppet palanquin flew up and headed north rapidly. Although its speed was far inferior to the dark bone phantom ship, it was several times faster than the corpse cloud that Pei Ling had ridden before. Senior brothers and sisters. Seeing Zhang Shua take out a teapot, teacups, and other items from his storage bag to entertain everyone, Pei Ling's mind raced. He suddenly said, my cultivation level is low. I'm afraid I have to thank you for taking care of me on this trip. This is a small token of my appreciation. As he spoke, he took out a handful of supreme-grade bone-tempering pills and wrapped them in spiritual power. He then gave each of them 2 pills. Ha! Zhang Shua and the others were disdainful at first. After all, it was just a bone-tempering pill. If they could cultivate to the late stage Qi refinement realm, how could they lack such basic pills? However, in the next moment, they suddenly realized that the pill in front of them was lustrous and translucent. Even though it was close to them, there was no pill fragrance at all. Everyone suddenly reacted and exclaimed in unison, "Supreme-grade bone-tempering pill." When they looked at Pei Ling again, their gazes changed. Seeing this, Pei Ling was ready to pull out the banner of Jingshan as usual to hint that he had a backer and was not cannon fodder that could be sent to his death. Unexpectedly, before he could speak, Zhang Shua laughed first. As he carefully put away the supreme-grade bone-tempering pill, he said, "It's actually a supreme-grade pill. I didn't expect junior sister Jin's alchemy skills to improve by leaps and bounds. It seems that our foundation establishment pill is definitely not a problem." "Not bad, not bad." The gray-robed cultivator who had just spoken was also beaming with joy. He picked up a pill and sized it up carefully with an intoxicated expression. "Everyone, although the other teams are not weak, for junior sister Jin's miraculous alchemy technique, we have to obtain the foundation establishment pill formula and the red beard vine." Jin Sumian. Pei Ling was stunned. They actually thought that these pills were refined by Jin Sumian. To think that I've planned to say that these are Jingshan's rewards. Forget it. It's the same. The strongest person in this team was Zhang Shua, and Zhang Shua's goal was the foundation establishment pill. Then the more powerful the alchemist behind him was, the safer he would be. Junior sister Lu, it seems that you're not telling us the truth. At this moment, the female cultivator surnamed Li teased Lu Luqiang. Supreme-grade pills are so precious, but junior sister Jean gave so many to this junior brother. It can be seen that this junior brother's relationship with junior sister Jean must be extraordinary. How is it just a casual acquaintance? The female cultivator surnamed Wang also took a second look at Pei Ling and kindly reminded him, junior sister Jin's background is not ordinary. She has a cousin, Jin Sutai, who is the master of the Stone Realm faction, one of the 5 inner sect branches. If you don't have a foundation establishment cultivator in your family, I'm afraid it will be difficult to obtain the approval of the Jin family. Of course, junior sister Jean has been doted on since she was young and is a genius alchemist. Her family has high hopes for her. If she wants to be with you wholeheartedly, it's not completely hopeless. Junior brother. The effect of the supreme-grade bone-tempering pill was obvious. A male cultivator who had not spoken from the beginning to the end took the initiative to remind him, although you have obtained junior sister Jin's favor, there are many people in the sect who admire junior sister Jin. Especially Xiao Ningji, who is junior sister Jin's childhood sweetheart. This person comes from the Xiao family, which is compatible with the Jin family. Their families are old friends and are often connected by marriage. Xiao Ningji has always prided himself on being junior sister Jin's future Dao companion. Usually, any male cultivator who approaches junior sister Jin will be suppressed by him. If he finds out about you and junior sister Jin, I'm afraid he won't let it go. Especially since you're only at the 7th level of Qi refinement. If Xiao Ningji invites you to the sex life and death arena, BDNVL.M. Before he could finish, the gray-robed male cultivator put away the supreme-grade bone-tempering pill in satisfaction. He looked up and said, Xiao Ningji's strength is average. His cultivation level is purely based on the accumulation of resources. There's nothing to be afraid of. How about this, junior brother Leng? As long as you give me 10, no, 15 supreme-grade bone-tempering pills, I'll help you settle Xiao Ningji if he dares to find trouble with you. Pei Ling coughed dryly. Senior brother, my surname is Pei, and my name is Pei Ling. He understood now. When Zhang Shua introduced him to them just now, these people saw that his cultivation level was only at the 7th level of qi refinement and did not remember him at all. Alright, junior brother Pei. The gray-robed male cultivator's expression did not change. My name is Zhao Chang'an. I'm at the peak of the 8th level of qi refinement and have experienced killing demons in the Gu Abyss many times. How about it? If you ask me to help you deal with Xiao Ningji, it's definitely worth it. Chapter 99. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Foundation Establishment Opportunity Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. This guy is simply asking for too much. Pei Ling cursed inwardly. 15 supreme-grade bone tempering pills. Even if I hand them to Jing Shan, I'd get 10,000 inferior-grade spirit stones. This amount is enough for me to hire a foundation establishment expert from the inner sect. Do I need to find an 8th stage qi refinement cultivator? Senior brother Zhao, how precious these supreme-grade bone tempering pills are. I only have this many. Pei Ling was troubled. Let's talk about it in the future. Junior brother Pei, ignore him. Seeing this, the eyes of the black-robed male cultivator sitting beside Zhao Chang'an flashed. He suddenly said, he's just a mere Xiao Ningji. Why would you need to give 15 supreme-grade bone tempering pills? I only need 12, and I promise to help you get rid of him. How about that? The female cultivator surnamed Li raised her eyebrows. 12, aren't you treating junior brother Pei as an outsider? She turned to Pei Ling and smiled sweetly. As she stroked her hair, she said softly, Junior brother, it's fate that we're on the same team today. We're all family. Senior sister won't treat us like fat sheep like the two of them. As long as you give me 10 supreme-grade bone tempering pills, I guarantee that you and junior sister Jean can do whatever you want. Xiao Ningji will never disturb you. 10. Seeing that the female cultivator surnamed Wang was about to join the bidding, Pei Ling felt a headache coming on. He laughed dryly and hurriedly said, Forgive me for my clumsiness, but I wonder how I should address my senior brothers and sisters. These fellow disciples are so King realistic. Oh. Junior brother Pei, you still don't know our names. The female cultivator surnamed Wang immediately blamed Lu Luqiang and said angrily, Junior sister Lu, this is your fault. You were the one who brought junior brother Pei here. We thought you had already told him. Who knew that you, his senior sister, would be so incompetent? Before Lu Luqiang could retort, she had already started introducing everyone to Pei Ling with a smile. The female cultivator's full name was Wang Jianyang. She was at the 8th level of qi refinement and was a disciple of the Flying Skull Peak. The female cultivator with the surname Li was called Li Xiaqing. She was at the peak of the 8th level of qi refinement and was a disciple of the Blood Tide Peak. The gray-robed cultivator, Zhao Chang'an, was at the peak of the 8th level of qi refinement. Like Wang Jianyang, he was also a disciple of the Flying Skull Peak. The black-robed male cultivator, Zhou Qingfeng, was at the 8th level of qi refinement and was a disciple of the White Bone Peak. The male cultivator who had just arrived with Li Xiaqing was Su Zhen. He was at the 8th level of qi refinement and was a disciple of the Blood Pupil Peak. As for Zhang Shua, he was at the peak of the 9th level of qi refinement and the strongest person in the entire team. He lived in Cold Abyss Peak, where everyone had set off. Lu Luqiang, like Jean Sumian, belonged to Elegance Peak. Pei Ling noted them down one by one and announced that he was from Shady Sephora Peak. Everyone's expressions changed slightly when they heard this. Pei Ling noticed that and some questions arose, but the most important thing now was to figure out what was going on with the Han Mansion. He thanked Wang Jianyang and greeted everyone again. He asked, I saw this mission at the Miscellaneous Committee not long ago. At the time, it only required cultivators above the 6th level of qi refinement, and the reward was only a few hundred inferior-grade spirit stones. But why are there so many experts participating now? Junior brother Pei, when you saw it, the first batch of disciples who accepted the mission had already been wiped out, but the news had yet to reach the sect. Zhao Chang'an chuckled. So the reward was only a few hundred spirit stones. The requirements were not high. But in recent days, there have been 4 consecutive batches of cultivators who have failed in this mission. None in the first 3 batches survived. There were only 11 cultivators in the latest 4th batch. There were 7 above the 7th level of Qi refinement. Before they set off, they even prepared a large number of pills and talismans. However, only the leader, He escaped alone with injuries. As for He, his strength is about the same as mine. After he returned to the sect, he barely said a few words and fainted. He's still unconscious. Therefore, although the cultivation requirement for this mission is still above the 6th level of Qi refinement, the reward has already increased to 10,000 inferior-grade spirit stones. The cultivator at the peak of the 8th level of Qi refinement barely escaped back to the sect and is still unconscious. What the F***ck is this? Pei Ling's heart turned cold as he probed, but with so many senior brothers and sisters going together this time, I think it will definitely be easy. It won't take much effort, right? It's not that simple, Zhao Chang'an explained. The Han Manor has declined now, but there was a cultivator at the peak of the Foundation establishment realm in the early years. 100 years ago, one of their family heads was rumored to be extremely talented. He once tried to break through to the upper 3rd-grade Golden Core realm, but unfortunately, his efforts were in vain and he died. From then on, the Han Manor could not recover from its setback. So far, no descendant has been able to reach the Foundation establishment realm. Finally, an outstanding disciple appeared in this generation. It's senior brother Han Sigu of the Blood Tide Peak. This senior brother's talent was outstanding. After he entered the sect, his cultivation level advanced by leaps and bounds. 10 years ago, he reached the peak of the 9th level of Qi refinement. At that time, there was an opportunity in the 10,000 fathom sea. It was said to be related to the Heaven Dao Foundation establishment. The disciples of the various sects at the Qi refinement realm acted upon hearing the news, and senior brother Han was no exception. It was just that for some reason, that opportunity disappeared in the end, and many people died because of it. At that time, senior brother Han was actually quite outstanding. He killed so many people with the Blood River sword art that blood flowed like a river, increasing the prestige of our holy sect. He thought that even if he couldn't obtain the opportunity, he could return to the sect to obtain the Earth Dao Foundation. However, unexpectedly, after that storm gradually dissipated, senior brother Han never appeared again. After that, the Han Manor clan, which had finally recovered a little, deteriorated again. There were originally many similar families, but no one paid attention to them. However, to everyone's surprise, just a few months ago, the entire Han family was massacred overnight without any warning. As Pei Ling listened to his story, his expression gradually turned serious. The Han clan had actually been weak in recent years, or rather, very weak. However, it was a family with a peak-stage foundation establishment cultivator after all, and that peak-stage foundation establishment cultivator lived less than 100 years ago. To cultivators, there were many people from the same era as that peak foundation establishment cultivator, even Qi refinement realm cultivators. Envy. Therefore, although the people in this manner, other than the missing Han Sigu, could not withstand a single blow, the many array formations, traps, and defenses of the manor could not be underestimated. Moreover, this did not include the talismans and dharma artifacts that the family head at the peak of the foundation establishment realm had left for his descendants. In short, the encounters of the first 4 batches of cultivators proved the dangers of this manor. Senior brother Zhao, the mission reward of 10,000 inferior-grade spirit stones seems to be quite a lot. Pei Ling pondered for a moment and said, but with so many people sharing, it doesn't seem like much. Of course. Zhao Chang'an could not help but laugh. He said, however, no one cares about the reward of 10,000 inferior-grade spirit stones for accepting this mission. What everyone values is actually the treasure vault of the Han Manor. Before he fainted, he said that a large number of cultivation techniques, spells, medicinal herbs, and cultivation insights were gathered in the treasure vault of the Han Manor. Perhaps it's because after that family head passed away 100 years ago, there had never been a foundation establishment cultivator. So they have the most records and speculations about how to build a Tao foundation. Therefore, our true goal in this mission is the cultivation insights in the Han Manor's treasure vault. The most important thing is the foundation establishment pill formula and one of the main ingredients for the foundation establishment pill, the red beard vine. Chapter 100. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Han Manor Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. The more Pei Ling listened, the uglier his expression became. He originally thought that it was a mission that an ordinary 6th stage Qi refinement cultivator could do, so in order to send Lulu Qiang away as soon as possible yesterday, he accepted it for Jean Sumian without hesitation. He did not expect it to be such a huge trap. What was worse was that 5 teams had accepted the mission. What did that mean? It meant that after they arrived at the Han Manor, not only would they have to face the danger inside, but they would also have to guard against the other 4 teams stabbing them in the back. This did not include the risks of whether there was a traitor in their team or whether he would betray them at the critical moment. Senior Brother Zhao. Since things had come to this, he could only take it one step at a time. Pei Ling asked, before that senior brother he fainted, did he say how he got injured in the Han Manor? Zhao Chang'an shook his head and said, his injuries were very serious, and his mind was a little blurry. He lost consciousness after saying a few words. The medical cultivator said that his soul had been greatly stimulated. He can only take the soul calming pill to recover and won't wake up for a month. If we wait for him in the sect, the others will definitely beat us to it. Damn it. In other words, we know nothing. Pei Ling's mind raced. He calmly glanced at Lulu Qiang, who was not far away, and thought to himself, thank goodness, thank goodness. Let's not talk about the others. Although this senior sister Lu's cultivation level is higher than mine, she's very weak. Moreover, I also cultivate the blood spiraling. Blood ghost escape technique. If the situation goes wrong, I can run faster than her. 1 A few days later, at noon, a flying shuttle broke through the layers of clouds and landed by a lake. A moment later, 10 energetic cultivators walked out of the flying shuttle. The male cultivator in the lead had bright eyebrows and extraordinary looks. He wore a white robe and soap boots and held a blood-colored staff. The staff looked like an old vine. The head of the staff was shaped like a snake with 2 horns on its head which was showing its fangs. In the snake's eyes, blood flames flickered and a murderous aura surged. After everyone came out, he cast a spell and put away the flying shuttle. He looked around and said loudly, Junior brothers and sisters, this is the Han Manor. I don't see Senior Brother Tang Nanjai and the others. Looks like we're the first to arrive. A male cultivator following closely behind him closed his eyes and heaved a sigh of relief. Of course. Senior Brother Bai specially borrowed the poison fire blood dragon staff and the dark spirit flying shuttle from the inner sext Senior Brother this time. We'll be able to beat the other teams to it for at least 2 days and 2 nights, a beautiful, slender, and tall female cultivator replied. She looked at Bai Kuang with admiration. It's all thanks to Senior Brother Bai. We'll definitely get first place in this mission. Bai Kuang smiled and said seriously, the Han family villa has been in decline for a long time. Now that the He clan has been destroyed, even if the array formations and mechanisms are still there, they have been in disrepair for a long time. There's nothing to be afraid of. What we have to pay attention to the most this time is not the mission itself, but the other 4 teams. Since we've arrived first, I hope that we can work together to find the treasure vault. As for the specific distribution, we'll discuss it after we get the items. Otherwise, if other teams catch up midway, not only will our original advantage disappear, they will even become our vanguard and benefit others. Yes. All the fellow disciples replied in unison. Then, under the deduction of a purple-robed female cultivator, they quickly found a gap in the Han family manor's array and rushed in. As the surrounding scenery rippled slightly like water, the original water pool disappeared. What appeared in front of them was an ancient door that revealed its age. The words Han Manor were written on it. The words had long faded, leaving only a faint background, revealing the recent decline of the manor. On both sides of the gate were colorful tassels used for celebrations. However, after years of being battered by the winds and rain, they were already dilapidated. As for the talismans that were engraved when the family was at its peak, they were already half-broken now. There were only a few scattered talismans that were barely effective, but they could slightly expel some useless ghosts. To Bai Kuang and the others, their effectiveness in resisting the enemy was negligible. Everyone was anxious to find treasures and did not have the mood to waste time. They quickly searched the vicinity and went deeper. Senior Brother Bai, the Han Manor occupies a vast area. There are only 10 of us. If we move together, I'm afraid it will be difficult to take the treasure vault away before the others arrive. At this moment, the purple-robed female cultivator walked over and suggested to Bai Kuang, in my opinion, why don't we split up? Split up. Bai Kuang frowned slightly, not because he was afraid of danger. After all, although only he had escaped from the first 4 batches of disciples, even he, who was at the 8th level of Qi refinement, could escape back to the sect. Not only was the weakest in their team at the 8th level of Qi refinement, but they had also made ample preparations before coming. Even if they encountered a trap or an enemy, and even if they were no match for them, they would have enough time to stall for time until the others rushed over to provide support. The problem was that wealth was a temptation to people. What if someone discovered the treasure vault in private but kept it a secret and kept it for himself? According to my calculations, the next time we can leave the array is about 16 hours later. The purple-robed female cultivator seemed to have seen through his doubts and said, the location is the pavilion in the middle of the lotus pond in the backyard. With such a short timeline, if we gather together, I'm afraid we won't be able to search many places. Bai Kuang's gaze flickered as he said, Junior Sister Wu makes sense. How about this? The 9 of you will form a team of 3 while I will form a team of 1. Next, we will split up and search. Regardless of whether we find anything, we will meet at the lake pavilion at the back of the house in 16 hours. Since there was only one exit and there was a time limit, he would arrive early and check and interrogate them one by one. The 9 junior brothers and sisters were anxious to find the treasure vault, so they agreed without hesitation. Hence, the 10 of them quickly split into 4 groups and dispersed. After a while, the purple-robed female cultivator and her 2 fellow disciples entered the martial arts arena empty-handed. The martial arts arena was built in a rough manner. The ground, walls, dummies, wooden stakes, arena. There were traces of weapons or punches everywhere. Search carefully here, the purple-robed female cultivator instructed. There was nothing along the way just now. After all, this was where the disciples of the Han family were nurtured. Even if there's no treasure vault, there might be some other gains. The other 2 cultivators agreed. Just as they were about to rummage through the boxes, they suddenly saw a familiar figure standing not far away with his hands behind his back. Senior Brother Bai. The 2 cultivators were a little surprised. Bai Kuang was clearly not heading in this direction. The purple-robed female cultivator had just picked up a vase when she looked up. She saw the figure slowly turn around. It was Bai Kuang's clothes, his face, and his figure. However, the other party's head turned 180 degrees smoothly as he looked at them quietly.